As we continue to discern how each of us is called and gifted to missionary discipleship, please enjoy this video featuring one of our parishioners already living missionary discipleship.
Yeah, the ways that I follow my mother's example of her faith and service are doing the things that I do to try to serve in the church here by offering the ministries here in the church, being part of the spirituality and liturgy committee. I'm in the Knights of Columbus. We serve other people. I'm on the Sarah. I'm in the Sarah group, which we foster and promote religious, priestly and religious vocations there. Which she knew the importance of having priests. So I'm trying to follow up on that as well. But just being involved in the church and all the things that we do here. She was always involved in the church as well. So being involved in the church, coming to the Bible studies, coming to the our parish mission that we had, going to the diocesan conferences that we had, like the Emmaus conference we had, doing things like that. Just being involved in the church, the chirp. I'm a member of the chirp committee, and I've been a member there since we started here at Seton in 2011. Been part of every retreat since then. And also what I like about Chirp is, we not only have our meetings where the men share our faith, but we have weekends where, like a upcoming weekend here, where we have someone coming about speaking to the men to help them, inspire their religious life, the morning of reflection. So just being involved in the church, trying to do my little bit that I can to try to spread the seed, like Deacon Harold said, those type of things, being an instrument to others, like the deacon said, are things that I enjoy doing. Well, when I think about what missionary discipleship and evangelization is like, I go back to what Deacon Harold said. He said, because oftentimes I think people think, you have to go out there and you have to run out in the streets and, preach and yell and scream and, bring the spotlight on you. But no, I love what he said there about just, opening that door and spreading the seed. And, that I like that because I can do that. That's easier for me to do than actually running out in the street and trying to evangelize to people. So everybody is different, I know. But, that's kind of the way I would like to approach it, is just to open that door and spread the seed. Yeah. Well, I've always tried to be kind and to others, but I just know that I work with some coworkers who didn't necessarily speak about my religion with them, but I feel they could tell that I was at least a Christian by the way that I acted, by the way you treat others, try not to get upset with others, try to speak with them calmly. And actually, when you do that, then you can kind of speak to people about faith in their ways. Like I have a friend at work right now. He's a Christian. He's a Protestant, but we talk about faith. We talk about things he does in his church. We talk about things I do in my church. So I really just feel by actions and the way I, by the way I present myself. Hopefully they'll know that I'm a Christian and love others and love God. I like to serve people. I like to help people. It gives me a good feeling when we serve others. Like I'm in the Knights of Columbus. We collect money to give to the needy. Again, it gives me a good feeling to do that. The Sarah Club promoting vocations as well. But I think as you get older, your motivations change as well. We read a great book again in our small group about giving your life away as you get older, and I consider ways of giving my life away to try to help my family, my loved ones, to grow in their faith as I get older. So, there's different motivations that I have, and they probably change from time to time, but it just goes down to doing things to serve God and to show others that way to God, being that missionary disciple to try to bring others to God. We have a great group of people who help you put on these wonderful liturgies that you do, our spirituality and liturgy committee. I would just love to see other people get more involved in the church, not just here in our ministries here. That would be great. Sarah Club, those type of things that I'm talking about, the Knights Columbus. There's so many ministries that people can get involved in, and there's a lot of parishioners who, although they come to church every Sunday, they're missing out on those opportunities to grow in their faith with the ministries we have right here in our parish, and the other ministries that are out there that they can get involved in with as well.